Welcome to Narcissism Freedom. If you've ever reached a point where your soul whispered, "No more," then this message is for you. Maybe you were always the one who gave more, forgave faster, stayed longer, and loved harder. And maybe somewhere along the way, you realized that no matter how much you gave, it was never enough for them. That's the thing about narcissists. They expect you to bleed emotionally just to prove your loyalty. And when you finally stop, when you finally choose yourself, it flips their world upside down. Not because you did anything wrong, but because they never expected you to wake up. They're mad because you were supposed to stay quiet. You were supposed to keep making excuses for their behavior, supposed to keep walking on eggshells while they shattered your self-worth. The moment you stopped doing that, you became the problem. Not because you changed, but because you saw through them. You saw the pattern. You stopped falling for the cycle of love bombing, blame shifting, and silent treatments. And when you stepped back, when you refused to participate, it triggered the thing they fear most: your clarity. Clarity is what they can't control. See, as long as you were doubting yourself, they were winning. As long as you were trying to earn their approval, they felt powerful. But once you understood the manipulation, once you saw how much energy you were giving to someone who only drained you, you started shifting. You started speaking up. You started setting boundaries. And with every boundary you set, they grew more frustrated. Because your no was no longer followed by guilt. Your silence was no longer filled with fear. It was filled with strength. And that strength was never supposed to exist in you. At least not in their script. They're mad because you stopped being their emotional doormat. Because you finally realized that love isn't supposed to hurt like that. That real connection doesn't require losing yourself in the process. They'll say you changed. They'll accuse you of being cold, heartless, selfish. But those words are just projections. They're angry not because you broke them, but because you stopped letting them break you. You stopped letting their moods dictate your peace. You stopped dancing around their chaos. They expected you to keep showing up even when they disappeared. To keep caring even when they were cruel. But you finally made a different choice. You chose yourself. Not out of spite. Not out of revenge, but out of survival. Because staying in that dynamic was slowly killing your spirit. And walking away wasn't easy. It was necessary. And now, they're watching. Watching you rebuild. Watching you laugh again, feel again, trust yourself again. And they're mad. Not just because they lost you, but because you didn't collapse without them. You didn't beg. You didn't chase. You healed. They don't understand healing. Narcissists don't process loss like emotionally healthy people do. They see it as a blow to their image, a hit to their ego. So instead of reflecting, they rage. Instead of growing, they gossip. They twist the story to make you look like the villain. But that's okay. Let them talk. Let them create their fantasy. You no longer live in it. You're free now. And freedom doesn't always look loud. Sometimes it looks like silence, like peace. Like waking up and not checking your phone to see if they're still ignoring you. Sometimes it looks like not reacting to their bait, not explaining your worth, not trying to convince anyone you were a good person. Because the truth is, you always were. You just finally stopped proving it to people who never cared. They're mad because the version of you they depended on, the one who overextended, who apologized for things that weren't their fault, who absorbed blame like a sponge, that version is gone. You outgrew it. You stepped into your worth. You realized you don't need someone's approval to breathe fully and live freely. This isn't just a breakup. It's a spiritual shift. It's a soul reclaiming itself. You didn't just leave the narcissist. You found yourself. And that is what bothers them the most. That they no longer have access to your energy, your attention, your light. They can mimic it, chase it, try to replace it, but they can't recreate what was real. Because what was real was you, your love, your patience, your empathy. And now, all of that is yours again. It's in your hands, where it always belonged. You are not selfish. You are not cold. You are someone who finally decided that your peace mattered. And that decision? That's what true strength looks like. That's what real healing sounds like. Thank you for being here with us at Narcissism Freedom. If this message speaks to your heart, just know you're not alone. You're not overreacting. You're waking up. And the world needs more of that light you've been pouring into everyone else. Now it's your turn.